Hey, I'm back. This is Irene, Faith, Love, and Trends. And we talked about picking up broken men, looking at the reality TV series Married at First Sight. One of the husbands, David, who ended up cheating on his wife with one of the other wives. And then him now partnering with that woman. He lived in his mom's or his parents' basement. Now he's moving in with another person who is another woman who was kind of enabling him in a way. And even one of the other wives taking up for him is again enabling him. And I was saying, he needs someone in a way like his ex, the one that he didn't get along with, Michelle, in his life, that might, kick him in the seat of his pants a little bit, just to give him a little nudge to be a little bit more of a better man. So that was what we were talking about in previous episode or past episode of picking up broken men. And it's around the same time I found that Jonathan Majors and Meagan Good have married. And I'm happy for them, and I've congratulated them on my socials. A lot of people thought that they weren't going to make it. It did seem like a publicity stunt. Even when they first started dating during, I believe, his assault charges, alleged assault, I think it was assault charges. Correct me if I'm wrong. And, it's alleged. But whatever the case, I believe he was convicted for the charges, but he only got like community service or something like that. I think he also got a lesser charge. It wasn't considered a big charge, I believe. Whatever the case, he was found guilty for battery on some level. Now, I may be using the wrong terminology. Please correct me if I'm wrong. On his past girlfriend. I believe her name was Grace. And she is Caucasian. And for those who don't know, Jonathan Majors is African American. So now that, he's in this pickle, he now finds this accomplished African American actress, Meagan Good. They connect, and she supports him during this whole trial. She's there with him all the time. Even though he loses the trial, he also loses some acting gigs, some major acting parts that he was just starting to rev up on. And I know a lot of people say, and I do believe it's on some level there's some truth to it. I can't say it's true for everyone, but on some level I think it is some truth. And once a black man starts to rise in his fame, that someone or somebody's going to come bring him down. But I think he kind of put himself in that situation just because of his own behaviors. And there has been proven that there has been some behaviors that were against his ex-girlfriend that were untoward. His behaviors, and he chose the type of person that he chose, that that can possibly be an issue as well, that he might get thrown under the bus. And to me, I think his story also shows you the importance of partnership and who you are with in a relationship. Because he did want someone. He even said he wanted a Coretta. He wanted a Michelle Obama, but he's dating someone that is Caucasian. So how are you going to get that? So I guess he believed when he met Meagan that he traded up to what he really desired to have. A partnership is very important, but also you have to be a solid person yourself. Everything can't be put on the partner. Even when I go back to talking about the Married at First Sight show where David is with Madison, everything shouldn't be put on Madison. He now lives with her, and he said she's the breadwinner. Everything's kind of put on her to lift him up. Even the fact that I think she pulled him out of his situation living in the basement because she didn't want people to look down on her man. I think that's part of the reason as well. She wanted him always with her. But I also feel like that speaks to a level of, and I don't think I mentioned it in the Married at First Sight, but I'll mention it with this one because I think both of these women have a connection when it comes to picking up broken men. Sometimes we pick up broken men because we're still broken. And we're thinking, if I fix this broken person, they'll be loyal to me. They'll stay with me. The brokenness in us calls out to the brokenness in them. And if we feel like if we can fix them, maybe we'll fix our own situation. Maybe we can feel loved. Maybe we can feel like that person will never leave. And I felt that myself. And I definitely feel Meagan may have felt this too. So their relationship goes on. Meagan and Jonathan. He is trying to rebuild his career. Meagan is still working. So then they get engaged, and people were like, oh, wow, we didn't even think it would get this far. We thought they were just going to, date. Things weren't going to work out. And, some people might think it's an industry plant. It's a fake relationship. I don't know. They go to the next level now within, I think, months of engagement. I don't remember the full timeline, but a very quick engagement. Now they are married. They kind of had a secret wedding, and this was after some more audio comes out against him in the previous case with his ex, where he supposedly or allegedly assaulted the young lady. So, days after this audio comes out, they decide to have a secret wedding. To me, it's not lining up completely. And this is my speculation. Nobody knows the full story of people's lives and why they do what they do, what the plan was. Maybe that was the plan ahead of time. But there are some people that try to cover up one set of news by putting another set of news on top of it. So, he was going through, in the beginning, the assault charges and going to court. Hey, let me cover up this situation by now being with or dating or having this person support me, a famous actress, Meagan Good. Okay, so now the story is that they're not going to stay together, but it seems like they weather everything. He's getting some more roles. Their relationship is building his name up in the spotlight. His relationship appears consistent, which may appear that he's more consistent. Then there's more dirt that comes out on him. Oh, let me get married so people can then forget about that. This news will trump that news, and everyone will be happy for me that I got married. Again, just speculation. Then we have Meagan, who was recently coming out of a divorce and probably feeling hurt and feeling like she'll never love again and has something to prove. She jumps into this relationship, and I don't think it was a quick jump. I think it was a little time since their divorce. It wasn't right away, but she puts everything into this relationship. People even speculated that she bought her own engagement ring because at the time, her boo, Jonathan, was somewhat blacklisted from the community. Not to say he didn't have money saved up. I mean, he could have had his own bag collected and was okay. But, we people speculate. So she's really in need of fixing broken things in herself. So she picks up this other broken person and it's like, well, if I fix this broken thing, now I can use it and not use it in an abusive way, but make use of it. And this will be good for both of us. But many times when we try to pick up and fix broken things, it's not our job to fix it. And I think that's what I alluded to in the last segment of Picking Up Broken Men, is that a man can only fix his issues on his own. There are some things we can assist with as women, being helpmeets, but we cannot completely fix and repair a man's issues. And even with Madison dealing with David, I feel like Madison maybe wasn't prepared to be a complete grown up. And maybe that's what her ex Alan was giving her. He was possibly putting her in a space where you really have to grow up and be this wife, and maybe she wasn't ready or prepared to be that. So she'd rather go pick up this broken man that's gonna give her time to be who she wants to be, or just look at her and idolize her and look up to her, because sometimes we pick up broken things because the person will look up at you and say, you're not broken, you're amazing. And they will kind of idolize you and lift you up and make you feel like you're so much better when you're probably really not. But it's like you're their hero, you're rescuing them, and you kind of get put on a pedestal because maybe you didn't feel that good about yourself in the first place. There's so many dynamics. A lot of times when we try to pick up and fix broken men, there's something broken in us that we need to identify and we need to work on. And maybe she just wasn't ready. I mean, it's okay to not be ready. And it's okay to step away from everyone, because sometimes we need to step away from everyone. We don't need to be in a thing. We each need to fix our brokenness in our own way. I mean, I feel like a love can come into your life and be like, this is helping me mend right now. But that thing that's helping you is not going to fix you completely. There's still more work to be done. This is like putting super glue on you for the time being, but at some point, there's still a crack there. It hasn't fully mended. There's still a possibility that glue may wear over time. So just thinking about us, even as women of color, how we at times pick up our black men and we try to fix them. And even for me, Jonathan's kind of playing that game where he was with a woman that was white. Things didn't work out, so he runs to the black woman to pick up those broken pieces of him that didn't work before, the issues and the problems. And to me, I in some way fear for Meagan that hopefully he does not bring some of his relationship issues from his past relationship into theirs. Again, I don't feel like it's a 911 situation. I pray it's not. But dealing with someone that has been abusive to someone in the past, and even there is proof that it's true and it's not a complete figment, you have to be very careful. And I think I mentioned this in another podcast episode I did on our other platforms. Check us out at cbiztvmedia.com, where you can hear our content there as well, on some other platforms. But yeah, so just hopefully it's not a case of picking up someone that's broken, going all the way to the altar. Meagan maybe feel like she has to prove something. I know Devon, I believe he has a new I can't recall the young lady's name. I'm not sure. I know it starts with the letter M. Whatever the case, he is also engaged. They got engaged pretty close. He got engaged like right after her. He found his boo right after her. I think his timeline even moved a bit faster. And I wonder if they're trying to play tit for tat with each other. I don't know. You never really know what people's mindsets are and their motivations. Sometimes you may say, that's too shallow. There's no way that this person is doing that for that reason. And that may very well be the reason. You never know what's in people's minds and mindsets. And I learned that a while ago. My family kind of taught me that, because I would say, this is preposterous. Why would somebody do this? Why would somebody waste their time? Why would somebody have these type of thoughts? And they do. Sometimes it seems really petty, but there are petty people. And sometimes people are broken, they're damaged, they don't know how to deal with things, and they react in strange and crazy and weird ways, and they deal with things in those same manners. So never put anything past anyone. But that's just my commentary when it comes to picking up broken men. How do we do that? Is there ever a good way to do that? I think it is. But again, I think it has to be the right man that wants to be fixed. If he's broken and he's content in that space and he's just using you to soothe him and to assure him that he's not so broken, he's not so bad, and he continues in the same lifestyle and behavior, he's still broken. But if he tries to rise above that situation, scenario, and you see some growth, which on some level I feel like I've seen some with Jonathan Majors, I've seen some growth. But I also see that this case keeps coming back and he's trying to possibly rectify that situation and erase it from people's minds. And I feel like he's using Meagan to do that on some level. It may not even be intentional. He may very well love her and all of that. But I feel like he may be using her to play this part. And she may be using him to feel loved and validated again. You know, she's got her a younger man as well. He's doing well in Hollywood where he was. He had a good name for himself. He has the potential. So, in a way, broken people pick broken people. That's my final thoughts on it. But I hope the best for everyone. I hope that we can heal and we can grow and we can, even though we can pick each other up temporarily, that we work on our own healing, because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that's really going to fix us. Also prayers, also, you know, your connection with God, with John, which is what Jonathan mentioned as well. Especially for me, you know, people have their own belief system, but when it comes to my faith, my connection with God is very important. And I think that that's a big deal for the healing process and just growth generally. So we're going to talk more faith, love, and trends here on CBiz Media. This is Irene. Email me again at cbiztv@yahoo.com. If you want to connect, drop your thoughts in the comments. Listen to us on our other platforms at cbiztvmedia.com. And wishing you all the best again. God bless.